You're always going to have something to do. And as long as you feel stressed out by what you have to get done, you're never going to operate at your full capacity. Now, energy is neither created nor destroyed, so I'm not going to tell you that you need to throw that energy away and never stress out. But what I am going to tell you is that you have to learn how to use that energy to your benefit. And it's quite easy to do when you think about it. Everything we do is for a feeling. Everything we do is based in emotion. Emotion is what fuels us. It's what drives us. It's what makes you go harder. When you're emotionally charged up, you can go way harder than you can if just logically it makes sense, right? So let's go back to that example of you feel stressed, you feel maybe overwhelmed by everything you have to do, the bills are due, and you have all these responsibilities and life is weighing down, it's heavy on your shoulders. Again, it's cool. It's cool. That energy, it's just misguided. You need to take that same passion that you have for, oh my God, this is so hard and what am I gonna do? You need to take that exact passionate energy and you need to put it into, honestly, it's very easy to handle this shit. And you need to tip the scales and just put the energy elsewhere. Now, when you start to do this, life is gonna respond to you differently. Now, it's not gonna happen immediately because you need to make it a habit. You need to make it a habit to live at this peak state, right? We talk so much about peak state, and peak state is something that we're always aspiring to, but we need to make our peak state our default state. Waking up feeling like, honestly, it's easy, I can do this whenever, however, wherever, it really doesn't matter. We need to do this so often that we wake up at this peak state. Now, what happens when we begin to get the reps in is that it begins to seep into the subconscious mind. We no longer have to think about living at peak state, and we wake up like this, and we begin to view our situations in life differently. Nothing is good or bad. We have become emotionally detached from winning or losing because that's not what it's about. It's about how we show up. And whether or not we win or lose, did we show up as the best version of ourselves possible? If the answer to that question is yes, then there is nothing that we could have done differently. And we know that whatever we desire is on its way, regardless of any external result. External validation is what puts a lot of our dreams in the casket with us when we die. Because when we are not externally validated by money, results, the body, the attention, when we're no longer externally validated, we take that to the grave and we take it as, this defines who I am. This is a definition of my character, because how come I'm here and that person, Joe Schmo, is over there and he has everything that I want, and I've never experienced having all of these things and doing all these things. All of this energy is just putting you deeper, deeper, deeper into that state of mind. So what you need to do is get rid of the need for external validation. Internally validate yourself and look at how you're showing up. When you begin to show up as this peak state version of yourself, the world responds differently. People will begin to say to you, like, it's something different about you. I just, your energy is just, it's different. And people begin to want a piece because we have this, I spoke about this in the last video that I made, but we have this, it's like a bullshit meter, right? And we can sense when someone is real and we can sense when someone is fake. But most importantly, we can sense when someone has put the work into themselves. When they've put the work into themselves, there's a level of spiritual trust that we have for them. That's when, you hear people say, I could sell water to a whale. It's not because he or she is the greatest salesman in the world. It's because they've done that inner work and they know how to show up. They know who they have to show up as to get a said result, right? When you understand it's just about showing up as your peak version, you kind of just take all of the energy away from, like, you take the energy away from, like, oh, these factors have to go in my favor, because it's really not about the factors. It more so is about your response to the factors, your approach to the factors. Life can throw a fastball at you, but, in the words of Shannon and Bruce Lee, be water, my friend. If you're able to fluidly maneuver your way through life, yo, you can never be told no. Nothing will ever not go in your favor. Life is in your favor. It's your life. It's your favor. It's your favor. And people begin to ask you for your favor in their life because you put the work in that they're still aspiring to put in. And, you know, for some people, this video may sound like some weird guy sitting in the grass, just talking in circles. But, you know, if you're really tuned into this frequency, then you understand what I'm talking about. And you understand how important it is to adjust. And you've been watered down with distractions and social media and other people's opinions and, you know, conditioning from your upbringing. And maybe you haven't been raised to think this way, but, you know, you're starting to realize, like, yo, there's something deeper than just doing, right? Because the people that work the hardest get taxed the most. They're the brokest. It's not about hard work. Hard work is this concept that is so freaking silly. I like consistent work. You can consistently do 1 rep a day and be the most shredded Greek god-looking dude on the planet. It's all about your approach, and it's all about the way that you view it, right? We tell ourselves a story. We create narratives for ourselves in our minds. And when we create these narratives for ourselves, it dictates the life that surrounds us. We quite literally create the reality that we see. And it's called emotional hygiene. We need to consistently show up emotionally yoked. I'm going to repeat that. We need to consistently show up emotionally yoked. So that means that when you wake up in the morning, right, and you tap in to that high level frequency, you know who you got to be for the day, and you feel incredible about yourself, right? It's 8 a.m. and you feel great. But then when 1 p.m. comes and you realize, damn, now you just want to eat McDonald's and like sit on your fat ass all day, yo, that's when you need to go back into your bag and you need to elevate your frequency once again, and you need to reach back to where you were at 8 a.m. And guess what? If you lose it by 1:20, you need to ask yourself the question, how does it feel when I win, when I'm secure, when I'm free, when nothing can stop me? And you reach back into that bag and you get that feeling again. And then if you slip again at 5:15, you get it again. And 5:16, you get it again. You just need to get acquainted not only with the thought patterns, but the feeling patterns, right? When you know what it feels like to win, you begin to walk differently. You shake a person's hand differently. You make eye contact differently. You are a completely new and revitalized being. You can take everything that you've been aspiring towards in its little body. It has absolutely no way of giving you problems because now you've built yourself up to a level where achievement is your reality. Achievement is your reality, and you're good because you have put that work in. You have put that work in consistently. Emotionally, you are consistent, so you know where you need to be. You know if you're out of position, you're not going to win when you're out of position. And there's going to be days like today where it's like, yo, I wanted to work. I wanted to put so much work in. And right now the time is maybe like 4 or 5 o'clock. And I haven't done the quantity of work today that I have wanted to do. But I understand I don't lose ever. So what I need to do is I need to elevate my frequency because that's what this downtime means. And if I feel lost and confused, then elevating my frequency is the only way to make the next best move. Why would I make a move out of position? I may as well just not do anything at all. All right? I'm not going to draw this video out. I just want you to get it. I want you to freaking finally get it and understand that life is easy. It does not have to be hard. You create the narrative that you tell yourself. And if you continue to tell yourself a narrative of life being difficult and you not knowing which way to go and confusion and doubt and worry and all of these low vibrations, man, that's what you're going to get in return. You get out of this thing 10 times what you put into it. So go ahead and continue to pour doubt into your life and watch what you get. It's going to be a whole pile of shit. But on the other side of things, if you take this type of frequency to your life and you look at life like it's in your control, you do what you want to do, you win because you decided to win and elevate that frequency, then life is never going to be able to tell you no. As a matter of fact, you're going to have to tell life no sometimes because there's so many blessings that are just coming your way. They're like, oh my God, here. And you're like, bruh, like chill, I'm good from the last set of blessings. But it takes a calloused approach. Look at my hands. You can see like I've got some blisters on my hands. That's from my kettlebell. That's from doing pull-ups and push-ups and all of this stuff, right? This calloused approach, like, it leads to me having the physique that I do. I look damn good and I feel even better. And that's the same thing that you have to do emotionally. Emotionally, you have to rewire the brain. And you have to make sure that you no longer have any down moments. I don't remember the last time I've had a physical down moment. I'm always in shape because it's who I am. There's nothing that can take me out of shape. I'm gonna be fucking pissed off if I get any more damn abs because like I can't put them away, you feel me? I just can't. And that's what it's gonna be like when you start winning. You can't even try to lose. Like, losing doesn't exist in your stratosphere anymore. And when you begin to tell people about this, when you begin to tell people like, oh yeah, like I can't lose. And it's just in conversation and people look at you like you're fucking crazy. Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And you realize, shout out to Jerry and Esther Hicks, you realize that you're in the vortex. And, people that are not in your vortex, they can't understand what you mean when you say, oh yeah, I can't lose, because they're not in the vortex, because they haven't emotionally calloused themselves. They haven't put themselves through the ringer to say, I'm going to intentionally feel what it feels like to be secure and free and win. They haven't done it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. So when you tell them truthfully, like, oh no, like I can't lose, like, God's on my side, the universe is on my side, so it really doesn't matter what happens today, because like no matter what, I'm a winner. And they're looking at you with their heads like, what the fuck is this guy? This nigga's cool. Yo, just remember that it's not their fault. And love them regardless. Love them. Love them the same way that you love yourself and the way that you love your life, because they'll never get it, unfortunately. You can't convince anybody of this shit. I'm talking rocket science right now. I'm talking on some like atomic, micro, bruh. People will not get this. This is way over a lot of people's pay grade. This concept of emotional hygiene, of emotional consistency. And it's easy. It's easy. And guess what? Every single day you do it, it gets easier and it gets easier and it gets easier. I'm telling you. So stay tapped in. And if you want to work together, I have slots for my Lionheart Transformation Coaching. This transformation program is all about helping you to make that leap, right? You've been in orbit with the rest of the gym pop, but you want to jump into your own orbit and create your own reality. And the Lionheart Transformation is all about that. Book club, fitness training, nutritional guidance, weekly check-ins, monthly assessments, and more. I ain't here to sell you. I'm here to let you know what's available. And I would love to work with people that are equally aligned with me. So if that is you, click the link in the description box of this video and let's get started today, man. Like, your life can change in as little as 1 millisecond. I'm telling you, because a feeling is a feeling away. Tap in, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.